Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Out of the Blue. Hi, David. How are you, sir?
Hi, Mark. I'm very, very well. Thank you indeed. Yes, it's lovely here.
Nice and sunny, I assume.
It is. It is. I'm looking out the window now, and yes, it's blue skies. Forecast to be quite a warm weekend.
Brilliant. Well, the edition that we're going to have this week really is a catch-up between us, following a conversation we had earlier in the week where I think I highlighted that there's been kind of a shift really in the attitudes of people and the conversations that I'm having with people. So that's the conversation we're going to get on to. Before we do, as ever, everybody please note that we've got our masterclasses running every month. We had one this week that was really well attended. We've had some great feedback from it. So these, if you remember, are the sessions that I run, about an hour, hour and a half online. So they're really easy to attend. And they're a brilliant introduction to anybody that wants to get a handle on their school or trust marketing and communications. So a real opportunity to step away from your everyday work and just consider how effectively you're marketing and communicating and get some hints and some tips. So all of the information about those is on the Blue Apple website. I think the next one's the 16th of November.
I think it is, yeah.
Love to see lots of you there. But as I say, lots more information on the Blue Apple Education website, where you can also find lots of other information. Our blogs are on there. Obviously, Out of the Blue is on there. You can also catch up with us on our many social channels. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, very active there. And we try and share really useful information, things that we've seen. In fact, I saw a really good article this morning that I'm going to have to put onto LinkedIn later on, and I've just remembered. But anyway, that's the sort of thing that we get involved with, just making sure that we're trying to keep you all informed and give you as much information to make your marketing and communications as effective as possible.
Fabulous.
So as I said, David, I think we had a chat earlier in the week, and I mentioned that there's just been this shift in the conversations that I'm having with people. So I thought it'd be great for us to just chat that through and see if we can analyze that and provide some advice on it, really.
Yeah. Well, I know you obviously did the Mac Growth and Merger Conference last week, organized by the tremendous Mac McDermott from Convences Education. I believe he did an excellent job as well.
He did.
Hosting that for the first time. So really, congratulations, Matt, if you're watching this video. But yeah, you came back very enthusiastic from that conference. A lot of great feedback as well. Probably more so than the one earlier in the year. I think you did in March.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, and so obviously we did the two, one in spring and now one autumn. And have you noticed a difference between the two? Have you noticed any changes from last one to this one?
Yeah, I think so. I think back in March, there was a lot of chatter about Mac growth. There was quite a lot of uncertainty as to what was happening and what was going to go on. We had Gavin Williamson making his announcements, round about that time, really. And I think what's happened in that interim period is that lots more multi-academy trusts have got that growth on their agenda. There's a consideration there. And that's not necessarily that they're all sat planning world domination, but they are making sure that they know where they sit and they know what their approach to growth is going to be, and whether that's to stay where we are, or whether that is to merge, or it's to grow, or it's to take on, new schools. What I also noticed, David, was that there seemed to be lots more single academy trusts that were attending. That were obviously thinking, well, I say obviously, that some of those that I've had a conversation with following the event are kind of saying that it's almost sort of, we need to position ourselves so that we don't get swallowed up, or that we're not taken by surprise. We need to see what's happening in the educational environment, what other trusts are doing, how they're planning that, and whether we are on board with it, or what our plans are going to be. How are we going to look at growth? And lots of them genuinely are looking at developing into multi-academy trusts, and some of them have some really big ideas, some real big plans to what they want to do, and obviously, are looking for how they support that and how they strategize it, really.
Yeah, I guess they need to understand, whether another school joining them or another trust that they want to merge with, or become part of, aligns with their vision and values and their own brand identity. I heard, obviously, you talking about that a lot since, and there's been a lot of response to that they need to get their brand identity right. They need to make themselves appear in the best light, really, for the type of schools or trust that they want to attract. So it's been, it's interesting to see that change and how important that's become in quite a short space of time, really.
Yeah, I think some of the simpler decisions have been made. So trusts have decided, geographically, where are we going to sit? So in a year, 3 years, 5 years, what will we look like? What's that like geographically? Are we going to go countrywide? Will we stay in, the local area? So then they're looking at, well, what's available? How can we do that? We've already got multi-academy trusts that have swallowed up quite a lot of those schools. So all of those sorts of conversations have been had, and lots of trusts are now at the point of, okay, we know where we want to be and we know when we want to get there. We're just not sure how we go, or even we know how we go about doing it, but we've not got the vehicles in place to start that whole process.
Yeah. So what challenges have you noticed that MATs are facing? What's changed in terms of that challenge, and how are you? What is it that Blue Apple Education is able to provide to help them overcome the challenges that they're facing?
Yeah, I think it's been interesting to see what that change has been, even at the start of this year. So a real short period of time, within those 10 months.
Really, yeah.
I think we've shifted from, most of our conversations with trusts were about, blending trust visions with schools and really helping trusts to manage and plan, have a holistic view on admissions across the trust. So we were talking about no longer just viewing each school individually, but actually looking trust-wide at the most cost-effective way of developing numbers and building numbers. So it was all about admissions, really. That is still the case and will always be the case. Those conversations are still there. But the main conversation now that's coming from, CEOs, really, and from the top down, is about that growth. And so what we've been getting involved with is bringing in our consultants and help. So John Brennan, for example, who we've interviewed before on the show, to really look at giving them the ability to put a strategy in place to achieve that growth. And those strategies have moved, they've shifted a little bit. They're no longer, we'd go in and say, okay, so we're going to put a communication strategy in. Now it really is a growth strategy. How do we facilitate that? And then our job on the back of that is obviously, everything that we do, but putting that visual identity in place that supports it and helps them do it.
And it's good to know what that plan is. So there's there are key decisions made to reach that end goal, rather than just having new prospectuses or new photography without having a vision of what that looks like in the future. Doing that groundwork, having the strategy put together by John, and then the brand developed, so we understand what that looks like and how that sounds, and then all the things that go with that, the photography and the videos, how we're communicating with parents and staff and the community to make that happen and to get there. Interesting.
It's developed more trust in what we do, I think, in the trusts, to use the same word twice, but the trusts recognise that there's a goal to the work that we're completing for them, and it is fitting in that strategy, which is always great. You always want to be seated in something that's recognized as bigger than the single project that you're working on.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. And what, so the event itself, what feedback have you had from that? I know you've had some very positive feedback, but
it's been quite encouraging, actually. Yeah, it's always nice to get, isn't it? I think we hit a nerve the right phrase, but yeah, that's kind of what I mean. I think we really did hit a nerve with lots of people that were there. And I think lots of people sort of came to the realization that is the gap that we've got. That's the gap we need to bridge. We know we want to do this, but we also recognize from the presentation that I give, which is quite I hope it is anyway. I aim it to be quite eye-opening about that sort of thing. And so trust recognizing, there is a gap there. And actually, if we bridge that gap and we get that strong brand and the brand character and the brand message in place, then we really can plow on and do what we want it to do. There's a recognition there that, and it just seems to be a very obvious thing to me, really. But if you're a multi-academy trust who has a handle on that brand character, and it's very obvious in the way that you're presenting yourself and the way that you communicate, you will always be in a stronger position than any other multi-academy trust that isn't as strong as that, regardless actually of the background and the framework and the financials. But from a front end for a school looking to join a trust, for example, that is always going to be very, very powerful, because you're building belief, you're onboarding those schools so much faster and so much easier because they're developing a trust in what you do.
It's very interesting to see those changes and in such a short space of time, but it's exciting. And I think it's obviously with Gavin Williamson going as well, there's a change ahead, but I think the academization aspect is going to change, might just be tweaked slightly.
I think tweak is the right word. I think some of the immediate fears that it might all be turned on its head. I don't think that's, I think we've seen that that's not going to be the truth, really. And we've got, let's be honest, we've got the Tory party arguing with each other as to what their policy is. But I do think that I can't see them wanting to maintain, the maintained schools and multi-academy trust. It will develop. It will plow on.
So great conference last week. It was a good one. Again, you've got a masterclass 16th of November.
That's right. Yeah.
And I know that you've got events planned up till March, April next year so far. Just what are a couple of those that are coming up?
Yeah, well, I just can't help myself, really. I love talking about it, and I think I hope my enthusiasm comes over when I give those presentations. That's some of the feedback that I do get, is that, don't want to work with you, but you're very enthusiastic. No, I'm only joking. So we've got the masterclass November 16th. We do have another masterclass second week of December. We also have a seminar that we're organising with, help me out, with Justin Smith.
Oh, Justin, yeah. Well, there's a few of them, and I didn't know which one you were going to talk about. So, Justin Smith, yes.
So we ran a seminar earlier in the year that really looked at the benefits of collaborating over fundraising and the financials of the school with the marketing side of things and how that all works. And it was really well received. Feedback I got from that was brilliant, actually, and we've followed up with lots and lots of schools and trusts from that. So it seemed logical to do it again with Justin. So we are doing that. So Justin Smith from Chameleon will be talking. I'll be talking.
Oh, fantastic.
We also have a guest speaker from who's from within a trust giving his view. So watch this space, and I'll announce soon who that is. But really, so that we can get the other angle, really, as to how that works. Into the new year, I'm also organising a big seminar between ourselves and some of the partner businesses that we bring in to help multi-academy trusts. So that'll be looking at all sorts of different elements that trusts are facing. So again, that's going to be in February. And again, watch this space. We'll tell you a lot more about that.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously aware of that. And it's a very exciting one. I think there's some fantastic speakers and businesses there that are well respected, I think, in the multi-academy trust space, and to come together to do this conference is very exciting. Yeah,
so lots on because I love it.
No, it's great, Matt. It's great to hear, and I know we've been inundated since last week, but since schools came back after the summer break, it's been full on. So yeah, it's good that we can help so many.
Absolutely, yeah. It's what we're here for. It's what we enjoy.
It is. Okay,
David, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no, it was good and thanks for filling us in on that. It's good to hear what happens at the events and the feedback. So,
no problem.
Good job.
Okay, we'll see you again next week.
We will. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching our other video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and leave a comment below, and please ring the bell for notifications. I hope I will see you again soon. Bye.